Hey guys, I'm Tamisha from Toolbox Divas, and we are starting the year off with a complete rehaul of my garage. It has been a hot mess. Like, literally. No, right now it's freezing. But anyway, that's another story. So, first off, we're going to get started with the miter saw. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell notification button so that you don't miss any of these fabulous DIYs. Alright y'all, let's get dirty. For this project, I took apart the old workbenches that I built when I first started woodworking, like this purple workbench that I made for my table saw. So what I've learned over the years is that your space will always be evolving. So when building workbenches for your workshop, I strongly recommend securing them primarily just with screws, because the ability to be able to reuse the materials saves so much money. So I'm using 2x4s to build this miter saw cart, and in actuality this miter saw cart probably could have been built easily with some plywood, but I had all this 2x4 that I had left over from my old bench, and I'm actually really glad that I used this because it made the workbench super sturdy. And given that I decided that I was going to store my compressor in it, as well as a dust collection system and some other little quick storage, it worked well. For the middle divider, I used a 3/4 inch plywood, and for the sides, I just used some sheathing. I screwed this sheathing on the inside directly to the 2x4s. Once the basic frame was done, I attached the bottom sheet to the workbench first. Then screwed in place the wheels before I turned it over. It's very important that my workbenches in my small garage workshop are mobile, and they can become really heavy, so I recommend using some heavy-duty wheels. I reused the wheels from my old workbench. Next, I placed the top on the bench. So I sized this workbench with the wheels so that when I placed the miter saw on top of the bench, it would line up exactly with my knack workbench in the back, so that when I didn't want to extend the wings, I wouldn't have to, because I could use the knack as my outfeed table. On one side of the miter cart, I'm storing my compressor, and on the other side will be the dust collection. In the area where I'm storing my compressor, I had some space above the compressor that I decided to use for a drawer. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money for this project, so I made use of everything I had. I actually cut out an opening in the front of the drawer so I could use it to pull the drawer open. But the drawer will actually extend the full depth of the miter cart. I made sure to pre-drill the holes for the screws so that I wouldn't split any of the boards for the drawer, and applied a piece of sheathing to the bottom of the drawer to complete the drawer. I didn't go with an official rail system. I just essentially made a ledge using some 1x2s, applied some beeswax to the bottom of the drawer, and this will work easily for me to slide the drawer in and out. Next, I needed to make the wings for each side of the miter cart. For this, I'm just using some 1x3 boards, and again some scrap wood that I used after I disassembled a couple of my old carts. The wings are 3.5 inches thick. That is the actual height of my Ryobi miter saw table. So when you're making this for your own miter saw, you want to actually take into account how high your miter saw is from the actual cart base. Then I attached the wings to the side of the miter cart using some piano hinges. I recommend using slightly longer screws than what comes with the hinges. So initially I held the wings in place using some 1x6 pieces of boards that I had left over from a previous project that I cut at an angle. However, I kept finding that yeah, I would mistake the wood for something else and cut it. So it didn't seem like it was very practical. I kept misplacing it, so I decided to come up with a different solution. So I had to cut out another board to place at the bottom of the wing and attach another piano hinge vertically down that board. But what I quickly realized was that I can't actually put the wing down if I attach the brace too close to the top. So I needed to find a different solution. Thankfully, my friend Shara from the Woodshop Diaries provided the perfect solution by just taking a piece of scrap plywood and attaching it directly to the top of the board that I'm using as a brace. Now I just used another piece of sheathing and closed off the back of the cart. With the back on the cart, the only thing left to do was to put the doors on the front. So this is where I got really creative. My door kept sliding open depending on where I rolled the cart in the garage because my floors are slanted. So I used a 1/2-inch Forstner bit and essentially glued rare earth magnets to the actual miter cart and the doors. And I used 1/4 inch square dowels for the door pulls. And that's it. I kept it really simple. I painted the door pulls and applied some light stain and kept it practical. So a link to the complete plans will be listed down below in the description column. I hope you like this tutorial. Please hit that thumbs up button, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to this channel. And don't be shy, follow us at Toolbox Divas on Facebook and Instagram. Alright y'all, till next time.